piece of equipment I do have, and I've recently just purchased, it's probably worth a mention. So I recently purchased one of the Helite air vests. Quite a sort of, I wouldn't say controversial piece of equipment at the moment, but certainly something that divides opinion amongst the sort of biking community, from what I can ascertain due to the various forums that I've been sort of looking at whilst I was thinking of getting this, etc. Those who aren't familiar, I'm sure there aren't too many, because I'm sure you have heard of them. So air vest, basically a vest, strange enough, that attaches to your bike. The idea being, if you become separated from the bike, it then inflates around you, so protecting your back and your various internal organs and your neck, for that matter, from hopefully serious harm, or at least reducing the odds of serious harm. So having talked to quite a lot of people who ride bikes, like I said, it sort of divides opinion quite massively. Some people think they're excessive, not needed. A few people think they're definitely needed and have bought them. I have seen a few people sort of wearing them already, other than myself. I personally think they're a very good idea. I mean, this is my first time back on a bike in quite a few years, I'm ashamed to say. And like most bikers, I've had the unique privilege of coming off my bike in the past, although luckily, touch wood, I walked away from a couple of incidents I had, but even so, it does bring it home. And I think as you get older, you do start to worry about your own mortality a little bit more. I mean, when you're 18, 19, you don't really care. I mean, you're just made out of rubber and magic at that age, so you can just take a hit and jump straight back up, whereas now, as you get a bit older, those knocks take a little bit longer to come back from. When you read some of the sort of statistics behind these vests, some of the research they've done behind them, they do, you know, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, one of the forums I was on, which I can't remember which one it was now, and there was the sort of classic response of, oh, motorcycling is dangerous, you have to accept those risks, we accept the danger, you know, you just have to get on with it. But you know, I don't think that's particularly true. I think there's a bit of a sort of contradictory argument in that we don't accept the danger. I mean, people spend a hell of a lot of money on very elaborate levers, and it's not always just to look cool, or, you know, get the latest suit that Marc Marquez is wearing. You know, these are for protection. And the same with our lids. I mean, we pay a hell of a lot of money for our lids, you know, and that's not just because they might be a bit lighter, it's because you're paying for something that's good. You want something that's actually going to protect your brain if you do get into an accident. Granted, I'm certainly not saying everyone must go out and buy one of these. I think they're very much an optional case. I mean, that's one of the great things with biking, in that you're free to do what you want. As long as you've got a lid, you can be as smart or as stupid as you want to be. If you want to ride around in sandals, and so be it. But I personally think these are very good. But the major stumbling block is the price. So they're not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, and to be honest, I was pretty much in the same sort of mind when I was thinking of getting this. Originally, I was all for it. I was like, yep, definitely get one, it's a great idea, look at these statistics, I do not want to be in a wheelchair. And then when it came down to it, and it comes to parting with that cash, it suddenly becomes a lot bigger challenge, because you suddenly start thinking of all the much nicer stuff that you could actually buy. I mean, so to give you an idea, the particular one I'm wearing, which is a high-vis one as well, which I'll get into in a moment, this one retails for $459, I believe, $449, $459, one or the other, something like that. You know, so that is not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, that's right up there, really. I mean, it's similar to what you pay for a very high-end, well, not very high-end, a medium to high-end lid. So it's certainly not something to be scoffed at. I mean, granted, there are actually some cheaper versions out there, because I did quite a bit of research into this before buying one. I looked at a few of the other branded ones, the names of which I can't even remember, to be honest. But there was a big difference. You could see it in sort of the build quality and the look of the actual device itself. And the Helite one, I think at the moment, is the only one to be CE approved, because it does actually have a back protector built into it as well. As like I said, so I went for the high vis one, which again was another debate. Again, you know, I hummed and hawed about this one because they do actually make a what they call a stealth black one, which strangely enough is just black. And those ones, they are pretty good. They are actually hard to see if you've got a black jacket on, of course. I mean, there are a few pictures and videos kicking around YouTube regarding these. And there is one where they've got a chap wearing a normal black jacket with the vest over the top and you can't actually see it. So, you know, you don't have to stand out like a sore thumb like I probably do. As I know, a lot of us are image conscious. I'll be the first to admit that as well. I mean, that's why I hummed and hawed about the high vis one. Yes, I want to be seen by cars, preferably, you know, before they hit me. But at the same time, I didn't want to look like a fucking glow-in-the-dark condom or something. But sadly, my sense of self-preservation prevailed, so now I look like a fucking giant luminous dick. So yeah, for those who weren't aware of them or thought about them, I'd give it some serious thought. I mean, a couple of people I've actually met who've actually bought these vests are usually, or unfortunately, people who found out as to why they're a good idea the hard way. So they've had quite bad crashes and they got pretty badly fucked up, and something like this would have really helped. So one of the main areas apparently that it's supposed to help is with when you get T-boned. So basically, car pulls out, you go straight over the bonnet, or you go straight over the back of the car in those kind of situations, because then it inflates within like 0.3 of a second or something like that. It's really quick anyway, basically. And so then just absorbs the impact. And so it actually inflates around your shoulders as well, so as to prevent head movement as well. As a charming statistic that I found regarding motorcycle injuries, which is always fun reading, is that 80% of broken collarbones, for example, are actually not caused by the actual impact with the ground. They're caused by the motorcyclist's head slamming into the collarbone because of the crash hat, breaking the bone. So there's an image for you. Just imagine somebody driving your crash hat into your collarbone so hard that it smashes it. So yeah, and being someone who's actually fractured his collarbone in 2 places on one occasion, I would not recommend breaking your collarbone. It doesn't sound like much, but it really fucking kills. It was not a pleasant experience, and certainly not something that I wish to experience again if I can at all help it. I'll probably show you a few bits more about the vest and stuff when I stop. But basically there's an umbilical that attaches to the frame, so under your seat somewhere. So it's just like a seatbelt basically, so that stays attached to your bike, and then you just it just locks into your vest. So you just hook that on each time. And apparently all the sort of marketing crap that I was reading about it, you know, the PR stuff behind the vest, they always love to put this question on there: oh, what happens if you just step off your bike? You know, is it just going to, you know, inflate? Which I like to think that nobody's that fucking stupid that, you know, they'd actually ask that kind of question. So do they really think the people who designed these vests never actually tested them on any level, and you know, never proposed the idea that what happened if you got off your bike and tried to walk away while it's still attached? So for anyone who is stupid enough to ask the question, no, it won't deploy. I think it requires 30 pounds of like, force, pressure, whatever, to actually cause the vest to deploy. So basically it requires quite a hard pull, or for example a similar weight to you becoming detached from your motorcycle as it bounces down the road. that will cause the vest to deploy. And I've done it plenty of times not to detach from the bike, thankfully. I've done it a couple of times where I've tried to walk off and remember it's still fully attached. Because like I said, I've only had this about 3 weeks, I think it is. But yeah, like I said, it is a controversial decision. It was a tough decision for me. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the ass. It costs a bloody fortune. It cost me a bloody fortune, and it's one of those things that you hope you never have to use. So similar to sort of your bike insurance, really. You know, you spend all this bloody money on it, and you may never use the fucking thing. And at the time, all I was thinking of is just all the other cool shit I could actually buy that I could use. So I could have got a new camera and I don't know, various other shite. Great, my GPS just switched itself off. That's fucking fantastic. So I've no idea where I'm going now. Oh, it's back. So yeah, it's tough, but you know, yes, motorcycling is dangerous. I don't think there's anyone on the planet who would disagree with that statement. But that doesn't mean that we have to accept the level of default danger. You can reduce the risk that you're exposed to, but unfortunately, like everything, it comes at a cost. Which in this instance is like £400+ But I've heard that, you know, a new spleen or a new spine are a lot more expensive, so you know, weigh it up like that. So yeah, that's my general random babbling about my vest. Any questions, feel free to ask. I probably don't know the answers, but I'll give it a go. Although while I think of it, on another note, if you are looking to check these out, because one of the issues you may find, is what I found, is that a lot of places don't actually stock these at the moment, because like I said, they are very they're not that popular at the moment. If you're into horse riding, you can definitely get one, which is one of the areas they're actually very popular with, amongst the like eventing riders and things like that. They use these, and jockeys and all that kind of carry on using them now as well, and it's basically the same technology. But yeah, if you are looking for these, Infinity Motorcycles, there's a free plug for them. They stock them on their website, but not all their branches carry it. Like for example, I bought this one through the Farnborough branch, and they actually have quite a few in stock of all the different sizes and the 2 different colour versions, so Black Stealth and High Vis. But yeah, if you actually want to go down and check them out, I know they have them. And if they don't have your size and stuff, they can order it in, because that's what they did for me as well. But although general rule of thumb, if you go onto the actual Helite website, they've got a size guide on there, and it is pretty much bang on. So I'd already measured myself up and stuff. Make sure you put your bike jacket on first, of course. Bit of a schoolboy error if you measure without it. I'd pick the size I want, but I wanted to try it on the store because I didn't really want to order it through the website and then find it was the wrong size and then had to send it back and all that shit. And they'd ordered it in for me, went down there and they sorted it all out for me, so it's cool. So yeah, they're definitely worth a look. Like I said, there aren't too many who actually carry them. I think the Helite website, they list a few stockists, but I think it was mostly BMW dealerships, quite strangely, and 1 or 2 I ranked didn't seem to know what the hell I was on about, so I don't think their list is entirely up to date. But yeah, so check out Infinity Motorcycles, they'll sort it out for you.